There are two types of custom build in this hobby. The first, built because somebody had spare parts lying around, and the second is built because somebody had an obsession, an idea, a mission, a belief that if you change just enough things, bend just enough rules, and ignore sensible advice, you can create something special. And today we are looking at two machines built for exactly these reasons. On one side, we've got a completely custom Deep Space Seeker 5 built by myself with parts I literally had lying around. T-motor motors, flight controller, and ESCs slapped together because my dead cat version decided to die. And on the other side, the Superfly Sync Mode, a drone built with purpose, capability, efficiency, reliability, smoothness, and drop-dead gorgeous good looks. A machine that seems to have developed something of a cult following. Fast, aggressive, unapologetically different. The type of drone that doesn't just want to fly, but it wants to make a statement. Now, the interesting thing about this comparison is these two aircraft are not built to do the same job, but they occupy the same space. They're built by different people for different reasons. But here's the problem. The moment you put two custom builds next to each other, the moment you stand on the flight line and fly them both, logic completely disappears, specifications stop mattering, and suddenly there's only one question left. Which one is better? So today, I'm going to find out. Not on a spreadsheet, not in a studio, and not by reading specifications from a website. We're going to do the one thing that matters. We're going to fly them back to back. We're going to push them. And by finding out which one leaves here with the title of the ultimate custom build, because at the end of this video, there can be only one winner. The thing about custom builds is that sometimes you're not really looking at a drone. You're looking at a person, their ideas, their priorities, their personalities. Every decision tells a different story. And nowhere is more obvious than with this Superfly Sync Mode. Because from the moment you look at this thing, from the moment you pick it up, you get the feeling somebody genuinely cared. Not because they had to, because they wanted to. The frame, the components, the setup, even the tune. It's all been considered. Refined, tweaked, obsessed over. And that matters. Because anybody can build a drone. But building a drone that has character, that's much harder. Now, unlike the Seeker, this machine is a machine that feels like it was designed to pick a fight with physics. It's different. It's a dead cat instead of a true X. It's a different philosophy, a different approach. And you can feel that in the air. It has more grace, more composure, a little bit more willingness to simply flow. Whereas the Seeker just wants to attack a flying session. The Superfly seems content to enjoy it. And I quite like that, because not every performance machine needs to be hungry. Not every fast machine needs to feel aggressive. Sometimes confidence is quieter than that. Sometimes confidence can come from knowing exactly what you are and exactly what you aren't. Now, make no mistake, if you ask this thing to move, it will move. The power is there. The speed is there. And when you really start leaning on it, it comes alive. But it delivers that performance differently, more measured, more composed, less frantic, more mature. Like it's always got something left in reserve. And perhaps that's why so many people seem to fall in love with these. Because flying the Superfly, it doesn't feel like you're wrestling a machine. It feels like the machine is working alongside you, encouraging you, almost saying, go on then, try that gap, try that line. I've got you. And that's a different thing to quantify. You're not going to see that on a spec sheet. You're not going to read that in a comparison tool. And you can't measure it with GPS. But the moment you fly it, you know it's there. Because beneath all that technology, beneath all that engineering, beneath all the numbers, what you can really feel when you fly this is passion. passion of people who wanted to build something special. And perhaps that's why the Superfly has become more than just another drone. It's become something rarer than that. It's become a machine with soul. There's something wonderfully irrational about a freestyle drone, because if you was being sensible, you would build something efficient, something practical, something that sips power, something that can stay aloft for lots of minutes and returns home with enough battery left over to make you feel clever. But nobody built this for sensible. Nobody built this for practical. Because this is the Deep Space Seeker 5, and it was built for something more important: fun. And that distinction matters, because every single decision here points towards one goal: raw, unadulterated performance. A T-Rex frame designed to feel balanced and pointy, no matter which direction it happens to be travelling in. Enough power to turn electricity into noise at an alarming rate. Turns so sharply, it doesn't even ask you where you'd like to go. It simply grabs you by the shirt collar and takes you there fast. Now, on paper, probably sounds a bit ridiculous when we're talking about a machine that burns through battery life faster than Boy Wonder burns through my patience and drone collection. A machine that would look at the concept of efficiency and laugh, and yet the moment it leaves the ground, you understand. Because this isn't flying, this is dancing violently. Every roll feels deliberate, every flip feels effortless, every sharp change of direction feels like the drone somehow knew what you wanted to do before your thumbs did. And that's the magic of a really good freestyle build. It disappears, not physically, but mentally. You stop thinking about the motors, you stop thinking about the props, the battery, the flight controller, the tune, and suddenly, it's just you in the air. Now, of course, power on its own doesn't mean absolutely anything. Anybody can bolt bigger motors to something and claim they've built a monster. But usable power, controllable power, power that actually makes the aircraft feel better rather than simply faster. That's harder. And that's where the Seeker starts to shine. Because underneath all that aggression, underneath all that speed, there's still precision, there's still control, and there's still confidence. And confidence is what allows a pilot to push harder, to fly lower, to get closer, to sometimes take the risks they possibly shouldn't. Because they know the machine underneath them is capable of keeping it together. Which is why, even now in a world obsessed with flight times, efficiency, long-range records, there's always a place for something like this. A machine built simply for one purpose: to remind us that sometimes the most important thing you can do with a battery is use every last drop. After all that, after all the flights, after all the comparisons, after all the time spent with both machines, what have we actually learned from it? Well, surprisingly, not as much as I expected. Because I came into this wanting a winner, a clear winner. The kind of results where one machine stands proudly on top of the podium and the other quietly accepts defeat. But that's not what happened here. Because whilst these two drones may occupy the same space, they achieve their goals in very different ways. The Seeker 5 is an absolute weapon, a machine built around a central idea: performance, raw, unfiltered, unapologetic performance. It doesn't ask for permission, it doesn't make excuses, it simply delivers an astonishing amount of power and expects a pilot to be capable enough to use it. And that demands respect. Because if you're on your game, it feels incredible. And if you're not, if your concentration slips for even a split second, the Seeker has absolutely no problem of reminding you who is in charge. It's a beast, a proper beast. The sort of machine that makes your heart beat faster before you've even armed it. But then on the other side is the Superfly. And this is where the Seeker feels like a bit of a heavyweight boxer looking for a fight, and the Superfly feels more like a master craftsman. It's still capable, it's still powerful, it's still exceptionally fast, but it just delivers everything with a little bit more composure, refinement, elegance. It's the kind of machine that encourages you to fly well, to relax, to flow, to enjoy the experience rather than simply survive it. And that's what makes this comparison so incredibly difficult. Because neither approach is wrong. In fact, they're both right. They're just simply answering a different question. One of them asks, how much raw performance can we extract from a 5-inch Freestyle drone? Whilst the other one says, how good can we make a 5-inch drone feel? Both answers are extraordinary. Which brings us to the conclusion. If you're looking for the most aggressive, hard-hitting, adrenaline-fueled experience possible, the Deep Space Seeker 5 is probably as good as it gets right now. But if you're looking for something that combines performance with character, something that feels like it was built by people who genuinely love what they do, well, the Superfly remains a very special machine indeed. And perhaps that's why, standing here now, I really can't separate them. Because when it comes to custom 5-inch drones, these two aren't near the top of the tree. These two are the top of the tree. Different, but better? I'm not convinced. Because somewhere along the way, both of these machines achieved something very few drones ever managed. They stopped being products and became experiences. And that is why they're both legends. YouTube and I have had a chat, and we believe that this is the video that you'll like the most. So watch it and let me know if they're right.